Hello everyone, welcome to chemistry class. Here we are with the chapter number 1, matter and its composition. This is the part 1 of this chapter in this video series. In this chapter we'll be studying about matter and its various properties, the forms of the matter and how the matter changes from one form to another form. Also in the later part of this chapter we'll discuss about the atoms and molecules that all make up the matter and how these molecules are held or joined together, how the atoms are combined together by the various forces. That also will be discussed in the last part of this chapter. Let us begin the chapter here. Whatever substance we see around us, we are seeing a number of substances or things are around us. Some things are big, some are small, some are heavier, some are light, some are very soft to touch, some are hard to touch, but we can do so. We are able to touch and observe all these things because all these are made up of matter. Even the air around us, the room where you're sitting right now is having air. It is made up of matter. When you inflate a balloon, then you can easily observe that air is a matter. We will see that activity also just now. So what is matter? Actually the definition is given here. Please mark in your book. Anything that occupies space and has mass is called as matter. Examples we can take anything like the food we eat, the water we drink, the air we breathe, the clothes we wear, each and everything around us. Even our own body is a type of matter. Some more examples like book, a pen, a chair, a table, all these things are made up of matter, as all of the substances that we have discussed, that we have talked about right now, occupy the space and also they have some mass. Here there you can see different number of objects are placed right now in this photograph, and all of these are matter, only examples of matter. So they occupy space is easy to understand. So whatever space is occupied by matter, yes, please mark this in your book. The space that any matter, any object or any matter occupies is called as volume. Like the space a football occupies is greater than the space a tennis ball occupies. Obviously football is bigger than the tennis ball, so that is why we can say the football is having more volume as compared to the tennis ball. Here it is given, volume of football is greater than that of a tennis ball. Also you can realize the mass when you lift any object or when you weigh it, then you can easily realize the mass. What is this mass? This is also you have to please mark in your book. The amount of the matter that anything contains is called as mass. If anything is having more mass, means it is having more matter. If something is very lightweight, it is having less matter. So if the mass is increasing, we can say weight is also increasing. If you compare a full glass of water with that of the half a glass of water, then definitely full glass of water will weigh more. Why is it so? Because it is having more water. More water, if I say that, we can also say it is having more amount of matter. So if more matter is there, more mass. If less matter is there, less mass. And that amount of the matter only that is anything contains is called as the mass. We'll have the activity about the air now. Just now we discussed that air is an example of matter. Now we'll have an activity. We have to take a balloon and inflate it. Means we have to fill air. And when we inflate a balloon, it will become bigger because the air will occupy the space. So first point is should be clear, I hope. Air occupies what? Space. What we discuss in the definition of matter is anything that takes up space. So air takes up space. Second point we have to prove still that mass also should be there. So that we will see now. We will prepare a weighing scale now. Two uninflated balloons we will take on the two ends of the scale and both will be equal. So then inflate one of the balloon and put back in the place, then definitely we will observe that the inflated one is heavier than the uninflated one. Why is it so? Because the air is having the mass. Here you can see the photograph, the boy is filling the air and the balloon is taking more and more space. This proves that air occupies some space. Air is occupying some space. And second, you can see here they have taken a scale, and on the both the sides you can see they have taken two balloons. This one is having air is present here, and it is having mass. Air has mass. That is why this balloon is going downwards, is pulling the weighing scale downwards. On this side you can see it is not having air, so obviously it will be lighter. So that is, this activity proves, or you can see here the scale dips, that air has mass. So air has space as well as mass. Air has space, I said wrong. Air occupies space and it has mass. So this proves that air is an example of what? Air is example of matter. because it occupies space as well as it is having the mass also. So this is the activity. Alternatively, one more activity they are given, that you can balance two inflated balloons on the same scale. Both the sides you put two inflated balloons, and one of the balloon you have to prick using a pin. What will happen? It will burst. When one balloon will burst, then obviously again this type of observation will come. One bursted balloon will be like this, another one will be like this. So then again it will prove that air is having mass and the weighing scale will go on one side. So we have understood what is matter, what are the two aspects of matter, space and mass. What is the space occupied is called as volume, and another thing is whatever amount of any matter is there, it is called as the mass. If more matter, more mass; less matter, less mass. Now we will see the different states of matter. You already have studied in previous class that three states of matter are there. They are solid, liquid, and third one is gas. So we will see here one example they have taken. When heated, a cube of ice will melt down and water is produced. Also, when you are heating water, you will get water vapor. Again, opposite thing will happen. When we are cooling, then water will change into water, water vapor will change into water, and water will ultimately become ice. So all these interconversions are taking place. From one form, ice is becoming water, water is becoming water vapor, and opposite, water vapor becomes water and water becomes ice. So all these substances, ice, water and water vapor, all are the same thing only, all are water only, and they are said to be in different state. Water, when it is in solid state, then it is ice. When water is in liquid state, then it is water, and the same thing when it is in gaseous state, it is water vapor. So the same substance, water, is present in different state. Ice in solid, water and liquid, water vapor in the gaseous state. And because of these three different states, we can say there will be some difference in the properties. So that is how you can observe in this diagram that is given here. On heating only, this side changes happening. Solid, that is ice, changes to water, that is liquid, and again on heating it changes into gas, that is water vapor. And opposite change also is coming here on cooling down. Equally it is, you can directly observe here. And please, you have to draw this in your notebooks as I have told in the class. No need of drawing these photographs. In place of this you have to write this name. Here you have to write in the place of this photograph, you will write here ice and then make two arrows, then you have to write water, then make two arrows, then you have to write water vapor. Like this flow chart you have to make. The heading of this part is water changes its state on being cooled or heated. So this is the flow chart for this thing. Please take a note to draw this. All have to draw this in your class notebook. This is your homework for this video part. This is your homework. You have to draw this flow chart. So now we will see what is the difference coming here. Why the solid is changing to ice, solid is changing into liquid, liquid is changing to gas, and opposite thing also is happening. The question here is what causes the difference in state of matter. So matter is not continuous. All the matter substances are made up of particles. Matter is not continuous. Matter is not a single thing. It is made up of small particles which are called as molecules, and the molecules are having some space between them which is called as intermolecular space. And in these molecules also there is some force of attraction which is called as intermolecular force. Also it is called as cohesion. So if the cohesion is more or less, the space is more or less, then definitely there will be change in the state of matter. Question is what? Question you see here. What is the reason for difference in state? What causes the difference in state of matter? So what causes this different state of matter is the different amount of the force of attraction. If there is different intermolecular force and there is a different intermolecular space, if the force and the space are different, then obviously we can say there will be a difference that will come in the state of the matter. State of matter will also become different. So here we'll read this line. Greater the cohesion, smaller will be the space, and less the cohesion, greater will be the space. What does it mean? If more cohesion is there, more force of attraction will be there, then what will happen? Here you observe in this is the diagram shown to represent the space and the force. Here these bubbles or these dots you can see, all these dots are there. These are actually what? All these are actually molecules. These are the molecules. These are present in the matter. Matter is made up of molecules only. And in between between these molecules you can see always some space is there. In all these molecules some space is there, which is called as the intermolecular force, space. Intermolecular space is always there. So this intermolecular space is there between the particles or the molecules, and there is a force of attraction which is called as cohesion. This intermolecular force, the force is also called as cohesion. Intermolecular force is the name given to this force of attraction. Also it is called as cohesion. So if more force of attraction is there, what will happen? The molecules will come close to each other, and when they will come close to each other, the space between the particles or the molecules will reduce. So greater the cohesion, greater the force of attraction, what will happen? Molecules will come close, and hence the less will be the space. If more attraction is there, less space will be there, and less attraction will be there, then molecules will go away from each other, then more space will be there. So that only is written here. Again we will mark that line here. Just now we have already seen in the previous paragraph, that is, greater the cohesion, smaller is the space, and less the cohesion, greater is the space. So what happens in the solid, liquid, gas is this only, that is, the intermolecular space is minimum. This space is minimum in the solid state because the molecules are having maximum attraction. The molecules are attracted very much that the space is not at all there. The larger space is in liquid state, and largest maximum space is available in the gaseous state. That means molecules or the substance molecules are most tightly held in solid, loosely held in liquid, and most loosely held in the gaseous state. Molecules are away from each other maximum in the gaseous state, and in fact the molecules are so loose in the gas state that they are randomly moving. Simply any molecule can go anywhere. All are independent of each other. They are randomly moving in the space that they are occupying. You can see this diagram now, and this also is your homework. You have to complete and draw this diagram also. The topic is given here, heading you have to note down below every diagram. Intermolecular space in solid and gases. Solid, liquid, gas, how the space is there you can easily observe. The first photo of first diagram, you see almost zero space, almost no space is there. Negligible amount of the space is there in the solid, and we can say there is greater cohesion, more force of attraction is there, and because of this greater cohesion, less space is there, or we can say least space is there. Come to the next one now. Liquid, you see little bit space is there, means force has reduced, and again you see even least force, there is minimum force of attraction, and that is why maximum space, you can see maximum space is there between the particles. So this intermolecular space is largest in the gases, and intermolecular space is minimum in the liquid. Just opposite, intermolecular force is maximum here, maximum force is here, and minimum force, intermolecular force or minimum cohesion is in the gases. Just opposite we'll write also for the space. Minimum space is in the solid, and maximum space is in the gas. So that is all how the different forms are there, how they are changing. What is the cause of this difference is just because of the changes in the intermolecular force and the space. These things are happening. We will now move to the properties, the physical properties that are given here of the solid, liquid, and gas. If you talk about the shape and the volume, we are learning the physical properties only. The first one is shape and the volume. So the solid is having a fixed shape, fixed volume. All solid objects you can see all are having a fixed shape and fixed volume, and they are very hard. What is the reason? Because the molecules are tightly packed that they cannot move. You can see here in the first diagram here, the molecules are not having any space. If they are not having any space, they cannot move. They do not move at all. And if the molecules cannot move, then what will happen? The object will become very hard, and it will have a fixed shape. Shape will only change if the molecules are moving. The volume will only change if the molecule is moving. And because the molecules are tightly held, that is why the molecules are tightly held. That is why what will happen? They cannot move away from the position, and gives a fixed shape and a fixed volume to the solid substance. In the case of the liquid, it is having a fixed volume, but shape is not fixed. Whatever container you take, the liquid will take its shape. You take some water in a glass, the water will take the shape of the glass. You put that same water in a bowl, the shape of the water will also change. Water will now take the shape of the bowl. So the shape of the liquid is not fixed, but volume is fixed. What is the reason volume is fixed, shape is not fixed? Because molecules are not so tightly. Molecules are having some force of attraction, but they are not so tightly held like in the solid. So they cannot obviously they cannot move, but the molecules can slip over one another. Because the molecules can slip over one another, that is why it can take the shape of the container. But the molecules cannot move here also. In the liquid also molecules cannot move away from each other. That is why the volume is fixed, it is remaining the same, because the intermolecular space is not changing. That is why liquid can only change the shape. Shape is changing because molecule can slip little bit, they can slip over each other, but they will not change the intermolecular space. The space between the particles, between the molecules, will still remain the same. So example you take, if you pour any volume, suppose we have taken 200 milliliter of a liquid in a container and we have put into another, so the shape of that liquid will change. Obviously it will depend on the container, but that volume, the 200 ml of liquid will still remain 200 ml only. So this photograph you can see, they have taken the water in 3 containers. You can see the shape of water has changed according to the shape of the container, but obviously volume will not change. So when you talk about the liquid, then it is having a fixed volume. The amount, the quantity of liquid will remain the same, but the shape is not fixed. No fixed shape. The volume is fixed because the intermolecular space does not change in the liquid, and the shape is not fixed because the molecules can slip over each other. Although they will not move, they can slip from over each other. In the case of the gas, they are neither having a fixed volume nor a fixed shape. Yes, the gases are not having fixed shape and not having a fixed volume. No fixed shape and also no fixed volume. Nothing is fixed. Shape can also change, volume can also change. What is the reason? Because in the gas the force is very weak, intermolecular force is very weak, and the molecules are free to move anywhere in the container, and they can easily occupy the entire volume. You can take an example. You spray some perfume in the corner of a room. After some time what will happen? That same smell will then, in a few seconds, it will come in the full room. You have just sprayed some gas, some perfume is a gas only. So perfume you have sprayed and it has occupied the volume of the full room. Earlier that same perfume was present in the small bottle, it was having less volume. But when you have sprayed that perfume in the room, then what has happened? That full perfume has spread all over the room. So now the same perfume, same gas is taking more space, it is having more volume. So that is how you can relate it. The gas is not having a fixed volume, also it is not having a fixed shape. The gas will also take the shape of the container or the place where it is present. The reason is simply because the intermolecular force is very weak. That is why it can change the shape as well as the volume also can change. So that is all about the shape and volume. Solid में दोनों fixed हैं, both are fixed shape, fixed shape and fixed volume. In the liquid one is fixed, one is not there, fixed volume but no fixed shape. In the gas nothing is fixed, neither fixed volume nor a fixed shape, not at all. Now we'll come to the next one, that is compressibility. If you want to compress the solid, then solid is non-compressible. We cannot compress it. Liquid is little bit we can do, but gases, yes, we can definitely compress. We can put some pressure on the gas and put its molecule close to each other, because the intermolecular space is very small. There is almost no space in the solid. So if we are pressing the solid, see this diagram, if we are putting pressure from upside, the molecules will try to move downwards, but downward here you see no space is there. If no space is there, how the molecules will move? The molecules will not move. That is why the solids are not compressible. We cannot compress this solid. In the liquid, here you see, if you put pressure above this, little bit space is there between the molecules. You can see some space is there. So little compression is there. Little bit we can compress it. Little compressibility is there. We can compress it. So that is we can do so. In the case of the gas, if you put pressure on the gas, then large amount of space is there. Molecules will definitely move at a larger distance. They will come close easily. So that is why maximum compressibility is there. They are maximum compressible. We can compress the gases easily and put them closer. You can take the example of LPG and CNG. Both of these are compressed gases only. The molecules of the natural gas are compressed in the refineries where they are obtained. So that is all about compressibility. So this point you have to remember. Please mark in your book. Solid is non-compressible, liquid is compressible to little extent, and gas is last one, very great extent. To a great extent they can be compressed. Reason is what? Reason is simple, because the space is small in solid, they are non-compressible. Little bit space is in liquid, so they are compressible to little extent, and maximum space is in the gas. That is why they can be compressed to a large extent. I hope it is clear. If more space is there, then molecules can be pushed easily. More space is in gas, that is why it can be compressed easily. Next one, you will see now fluids. If we try to put a solid object and think it will flow, obviously it will not flow. Solid is a hard object, it cannot flow. Solid does not flow because the molecules cannot move, that is why it will not flow. But in liquids and the gases, they can flow. Yes, if water falls down, water is doing what? Water is flowing, river is flowing. Gases if they are leaking, gas if it is leaking from a cylinder, it will flow. It will also move in a single direction, and it will cover all the area. So gases and liquid, both of these are flowing, because the cohesion, the force of attraction is very strong. Intermolecular force is very strong in the solid, but it is not so strong in the liquid and gas. It is little bit weak, and because of this property that liquids can flow, gases can also flow, they are called as fluids. Please underline this line, important line. We can ask, liquid and gases are called dash. Answer will be fluids. They are called as fluids. And the gases always move in a single direction. There is a natural tendency of the gases to flow from a single direction, that is from the high pressure area to a low pressure area. High pressure area means the place where more gas is there, it will leave that area and move into another area where less pressure is there. If you take two cylinders, for example, one cylinder is filled, another cylinder is empty, gas will directly move from the filled to empty. It will not go back, because molecules of gas are filled here. If more molecules are there, then what will happen? In the filled cylinder, it will have high pressure. There are less molecule in this side of the gas, and that is why it is having low pressure. Gas will move from where to where? Gas will move from high pressure area to low pressure area always. This is all about the movement of direction of the flow, movement of the gas, how it is taking place. So that is, we have covered this property, shape and the volume we have seen, then compressibility and fluidity. The last property we'll see now, the thermal expansion. In the case of the solid, liquid and gases, how it is done. What is thermal expansion is? It is expanding on heating. If you are heating any object, solid, liquid or gas, then they will expand. Their expansion can be more or less depending on the state of matter, but all of these, solid, liquid and gas, will expand. In the case of the solid, it is very small. In the liquid, it is larger, and in the gas, maximum thermal expansion is there. So maximum thermal expansion is possible in gases only, and minimum thermal expansion is possible in solid. So when we are heating the solid object, what will happen? Not only solid, any of the object, then the substance molecule will absorb energy and they will start moving away. Because energy is there, then molecules will move away, and that is why if the molecules are moving away, what will happen? Substance will expand, its volume will increase, it will take some more space, and it will depend upon the intermolecular force. If a small force is there, then molecules will move the greater distance. If large force is there, and then molecules will move less distance. Same thing happens in solid. Solid are having maximum force of attraction. So when we are heating any solid object, the molecules of solid will try to move away, but there is a high amount of force of attraction. That is why molecules will just move a little bit of the distance. In the case of liquid, slightly less force of attraction, so molecules will move larger distance. In the case of the gas, when we are heating the gas, the molecules are having minimum force of attraction, and that is why when they get energy by heating, they will move to a larger distance, and that is why maximum thermal expansion is possible in the gases. We will see these activities and prove this thing now. You can see the diagram related to this. In the question answer, this question is there, and this diagram you have to draw along with this. So we'll do this activity. We'll place two wooden blocks. You can see here two wooden blocks are there, 1 and 2 on both sides, and in front of a wall we have to see. You can see a wall is there on one side of this diagram, and then we have to place a metal rod. This is the metal rod kept here on the blocks, and we have to put this in such a way that one end of this rod should be fixed to the wall, one side wall, and the rod should be fixed to each other. Then we have to put a paper pointer with a rounded pencil and attach that pencil to this pointer. Pencil should be kept below the free end of the rod. Now we will use these burners. Burners are there, and we will heat the rod. When we will heat the rod, on heating what will happen? The metal, which is a solid object, will get energy. The molecules will get energy. They will try to move away from each other. They cannot move in the direction toward the wall, because wall will stop the movement of the rod in that direction. Rod will not expand in this direction, it will only expand in another direction. And when it will expand, what will happen? The pencil that is present below this metal rod, it will also start moving in another direction, and it will tilt the pointer. The pointer also will start moving in the direction in which pencil is going, and it will show that metal rod is expanding in the rightward direction, in a particular direction. And this proves that there is thermal expansion. When we are heating any solid object, there is thermal expansion in the solids. Next activity we will see. For the liquid, we will prove now. We will take a transparent straw and put it in a narrow mouth bottle. This bottle will fill with colored water up to the brim, up to the top. Then we have to seal this bottle using a sealing paste like M-Seal we can use. Put the bottle in the hot water. First of all, you observe this photograph. You have taken this bottle, upside this straw is there, and colored water is there, and it is filled up to the top. Colored water is filled in this bottle. Now we have to put this same bottle in a bowl which is having hot water. This hot water will do what? It will heat. It will heat the water, that is this colored water which is present in this bottle. It will heat, and on heating what will happen? Molecules will get energy and they will move away from each other, and when they will move away, this water will move upwards. Now you compare the level. Here you compare the level of water in the straw, and in this part you see it has gone upwards. The colored water is moving upward. This proves that there is thermal expansion in the liquid also. In liquids there is thermal expansion. On heating any liquid, it will expand. If you take this bottle again back out from the hot water, again what will happen? This level will fall down. Again the level which was gone upward, it will fall down back to its normal place. So this is how it happens, thermal expansion in the liquids. This reading part you can do, already explained here. Next one, now the gases. You see here the diagram. You have to take a bottle, empty bottle. Empty bottle means what is there? Air would be there, and air is a mixture of gases, so air will be there. It is not totally empty. And when it is heated, what will happen? Air will move upward and it will fill this balloon. This proves that on heating, when we are heating this, air will expand. Air expands, and it proves what? It proves that there is thermal expansion. There is what? Thermal expansion in the gases also. I hope the topic is clear to you. You have to read all these activities one time for understanding. Still any doubt is there, you have to ask the questions in the comment section. Also you can send message in the team apps directly to me. You can send me, write my name there, Mohit Alfred, and ask the doubts. Also you can ask the doubts to your teacher who is taking the live classes. Next topic will be discussing from the changes in the state, how the changes take place from solid to liquid, liquid to gas, and opposite also. All these things we will be discussing in the next part of this video series. That is all for today's video session. Thank you everyone.